And like Keller said, nice floor.
Solid floor.
Solid, the greatest floor.
The best floor.
No one knows more about floors.
What's up, Fackers? We are back with our Fantasy and Chill 101, counting down the top 101 fantasy football players for the 2020 season. Number 12 on the countdown is running back for the Las Vegas Raiders. You know,
Yes.
it was funny because I almost said Oakland. I was like, oh, they're Los Angeles. I caught myself. No, the Las Vegas Raiders. Josh Jacobs. He is our 9th ranked running back. Last year he finished as running back number 17 in his rookie season. He had 242 carries for 1,150 yards and 7 touchdowns to go along with 20 catches for 166 yards. He scored 186.6 fantasy points, an average of 14.4 points per game. All right, so pretty productive rookie season for Josh Jacobs. He averaged 4.75 yards per carry and 2.25 yards after contact. That was good enough for 4th in the league last year. He had 4 top 10 weeks. All right, so 4 really good RB1 weeks. Only problem is he did miss 3 games last year because of injury. So not as big of a year as he possibly could have had if he would have played those other 3 games. And a problem that's going to come up, we know in this day and age in fantasy football, the guys that can get some PPR points are shooting up the draft board. Josh Jacobs is not really that guy. Only 20 catches last year. He's pretty limited as a receiver. Now, I know John Gruden's come out and said they want to get him a little bit more involved in the passing game. We'll see how that goes. That's kind of really his only downfall because he's basically all alone in that backfield. Say what you want about Jalen Richard or any of those other guys. Like, this is Josh Jacobs. He's the 3-down back. He's going to get all the carries. So if he could get 15 to 20 more catches, which is definitely possible, I think he's really solidifies himself as that top 10 guy.
Yeah, and to kind of put that in perspective, in standard, he finished 14 last year. In half PPR, he finished 18th. So, like, there were quite a few running backs who kind of uh, caught him as far as receptions go. I like I like Jacobs. I've taken him in multiple drafts as my running back too. If I have like a
Of course.
7 to 10 pick on the do what?
So, of course, I mean, that comes with how many mock drafts you've done, but
No, I'm just kind of like, well, the big question for me is like because we're getting into the guys who they're all pretty damn good. I mean, he's RB11 on Fantasy Pros ECR, and the guys that are going around him are your Miles Sanders, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon. Like those are the guys that are right by Josh Jacobs because I feel like Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook, they're in that tier above, and then you have like Kamara, Zeke, Barkley, and McCaffrey. And so the only like what Keller said, the thing that scares me is his receptions. And they've said that he's going to be. I mean, he is the 3-down back there. There's no competition with him. And if he can just, because what did he
his
have? 30 catches last year? Did you say
Only 20.
20? Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to. It's hard to draft him as your running back 1. I'm very comfortable with him as my RB 2. I feel like a good combo would be Chubb and him because Chubb doesn't catch the ball a whole lot. And
why would that be a
he
good
doesn't
combo?
either.
It's
Oh,
like a
well,
terrible
yeah, I
combo.
Yeah, maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jacobs. I've done that several
That scares me.
times.
Almost scares me even more. I don't know. I
Really?
want a safe back with Jacobs.
Okay, but if you go running back on the end of the draft, like Mixon and Jacobs, you're not going to get a
Oh,
safe running back in Jacobs. He's going to go too early, I think.
I mean, I love me some Mixon.
Yeah.
So,
So Mixon and Jacobs, you would be okay with?
I'd be okay with that.
thing is, I like we almost took. Well, I guess we didn't take Miles Sanders over Jacobs, but
He had already gone, I think.
yeah, Jacobs won one spot before in our 20 team. But I might like Miles Sanders more than Jacobs, so I don't even know if I'd go Jacobs.
I think I do too. And the thing is, I think I like Kenyan Drake a little bit better than Jacobs too, and he's going 4 spots later.
I think me and Matt both like Drake more than Jacobs.
Yeah,
Jacobs is just like he's solid. You know
Oh,
what you're
I'm
gonna
sorry.
get. But
This ADP it says 17 now.
he's not going
It's
that
got
way.
Kenyon Drake at 15. You don't think he's going to go that low?
I've seen like all
Okay,
the
this does have
drafts I've
Clyde
seen.
Edwards-Helaire at 23.
I've seen
and
Josh
Miles Sanders
Jacobs
at
as high as
22.
like 7, 8.
Yeah, Like, okay, he's very similar to Derrick Henry, and I know every time I make a comparison, you always go off on me. But
I'm listening.
this time you actually okay. You're not interrupting me this time.
Oh, this time you're comparing like running backs that are 5 spots away instead of saying that like Marquise Brown is Tyreek Hill.
Okay, it's okay. Well, come on.
He said that one.
That was off the air. Once we had gone back to watch the Astros game, that was his take.
I said Marquise Brown is was a similar because Tyreek. Okay, we're not going to go into this. Never mind. We're talking about Josh Jacobs. But yeah, they're both running backs that are probably get all the goal line carries for their team and not catch a lot of balls. So if they're in games, it's good for him. And if they're out of games, it's probably not going to go good for him because he's not going to catch any balls.
So that's why Derrick Henry is ranked higher than Jacobs, because the Titans, you figure, are a better team and will be in a lot more games than the Raiders are. I still don't really know what to think of the Raiders. I don't think they're that good of a team. Whether you're a Derek Carr believer or not, I just don't think they have enough to kind of stay in those big games.
They did invest some high draft picks in their offense, though.
They got Ruggs.
Ruggs. They actually drafted a running back in the 3rd round too, Bowden. Not sure how you pronounce it, which is weird. And then they re-signed Jalen Richard. They didn't even have to bring Jalen Richard back, but they did for some reason. And then Gruden's gonna say, "Oh, we want to, throw more passes to Josh Jacobs." And then they re-signed the receiving back.
Okay, here. Do you see a world where Jacobs finishes as a top 5 running back?
All those guys we talked about, really. Like I could see Drake finishing top 5. I could see Sanders finishing top 5. I could see Clyde Edwards-Helaire finishing top 5. I don't think Josh Jacobs has a top 5 ceiling. Yeah. But the thing is, he has a very high floor.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting. You're getting solid production. He's going to go out there, like we said, get all the carries. He's going to have over 1,000 yards. He's going to be close to about 8 touchdowns or so. Pretty much, like, I'd expect a little better year than last year, which would be very good. He finished running back 17 if he play. Well, he's going to play if he plays all 16 games too.
Yeah. I feel like his way to the top 5, if anything, is going to be touchdowns. He'll have to have 15, 16.
Yeah, if he has an Aaron Jones touchdown year, then yeah, he's top 5. But I mean, not many people are getting 19 touchdowns.
In the Raiders' offense, I want to compare them to the Packers.
Yeah, Raiders are going to struggle for points this year.
I mean, like I said, they invested a lot in their offense, so they're expecting. Derek Carr doesn't throw the ball deep at all, so even if they do take a step back in the offense, I think drafting Henry Ruggs kind of opens up the run game for him a little bit because he's more of a speed guy, and Derek Carr should be throwing the ball deep more, so maybe the play action works a little bit more for Josh Jacobs. But you really weren't concerned about Jacobs' run game. Like you said, he's very good with yards after the contact. He's a great running back, just they're not using him in the right way, I don't think.
Okay, here's a question for you, Britt.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's going around these guys, when do you start?
I already know what your question is. Okay.
So we've talked about so much how you have to grab a running back, especially early, just because wide receiver is so deep. But we know there's 5 receivers. How many of those 5 receivers are you taking over Jacobs?
Yeah, saying I took a running back first, right?
I'm just saying in general, in a vacuum, how many of those 5 receivers are you taking ahead of Josh Jacobs?
Okay, Michael Thomas for sure. Julio's probably for sure, and Tyreek probably would not take Hopkins or Devontae Adams over him though.
Well, because that's probably a decision you're going to have to make. If you want to take Josh Jacobs, there's going to be a couple of those receivers that are going to be on the board too. So do you want to grab? Probably is going to be in that like 11 to 14 range. And so do you want to grab one of those top wide receivers to pair with the running back you just took at the end of round 1? Or do you want to go running back, and wait on some receivers?
See, and that's my problem. I would never go Michael Thomas and then like Josh Jacobs, because I feel like Jacobs is my number 1, just scares the shit out of me. I'd rather go Drake or maybe even Chubb. And then another question is, why is Aaron Jones ranked 6 spots after? Like, shouldn't Aaron Jones be ahead of Jacobs?
I think people are just
that
was such an aberration last year, Britt. Like Aaron Jones was good. I know that.
Wasn't it? That was his first time to really get the full workload, and he performed.
He scored 19 touchdowns.
I know.
He had more touchdowns than Christian McCaffrey.
He had 50 catches. He had 230 rushes, over 1,000 yards. Like,
And here's
I
one more
just,
thing why Jacobs is maybe
I
better.
still think he outperformed Jacobs.
Oh, he outperformed Jacobs. I'm not arguing that. He outperformed almost
No. I'm
everybody.
saying, I'm saying he's outperforms him this year too.
We said it in Aaron Jones' video. Josh Jacobs has no competition. Whether you agree or not, those other two guys in Green Bay are going to get the ball way more than Jalen Richard or whoever the fuck else the Raiders have.
I mean, I'd argue that Josh Jacobs has competition in the receiving department.
Oh, in
Yeah.
the receiving department, yeah.
I,
I mean,
I
we
could
saw
see
that
him
last
coming
year.
off as
Okay.
coming off the bench or going to the bench on third down.
All these idiots too saying AJ Dillon. Like, dude, this
But
guy-
we've done
Aaron
the
Jones-
Aaron Jones video.
That's true. Okay, I'll just shut the fuck up then. All right. So Josh Jacobs, I like him. I love his workload, like we're talking about. Like, he's going to be the guy in Oakland, but I don't want him as my RB1, and I'm probably going running back in the first round anyway. So I'm happy to take him as my RB2.
The one thing, if he can get to that double-digit touchdown mark, then he's probably going to be a top 10 guy.
Yes. And I think that's where you're going to have to draft him, is like he's going to be 13,
Right around
14,
10.
15 pick, I think. Yeah.
So if he can get that 7 touchdowns up to 10 or 11, I like him right where we have him ranked, running back 9.
Yeah. And like Keller said, nice floor.
Solid floor.
Solid, the greatest floor.
The best floor.
No one knows more about floors.
All right. We'll wrap it up here. Josh Jacobs is our 9th ranked running back, number 12 overall. We out.
Out.
We out.